today's schlong is going to be another Pierce Morgan clip, actually. And Pierce interviewed Kevin Spacey, who you may know from such things as Kaiser Sose and
American Pie
and American Beauty.
Did
And
I say American Pie?
you did say American Pie. He was
American
decidedly not in that.
He was not an American Pie. He was an American Beauty. He was great in American Beauty. He's a great actor.
Oh my God, phenomenal actor. And then Seven, are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
Remember?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? I mean, phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Had himself some trouble with the law. As you may recall, he was accused by, I think, a few different men, one in particular that took him to court for sexual assault. And Kevin Spacey was found not guilty. He was cleared of the charges, but now he's facing a mountain of debt. And there's still questions about his inappropriate behavior with some men. And there are questions about his knowledge or relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and with Ghislaine Maxwell. So he addressed the Epstein-Ghislaine question first. Here he is.
In 2015, I started seeing reports online, things on my Twitter account that I had flown to this guy Jeffrey Epstein's island and I had abused young girls. And I was like, I mean, if you'd asked me in 2015, maybe even if you'd asked me in 2002, did I know a guy named Jeffrey Epstein? I probably would have said no. Well, of course, I have since learned who he is. And I have since been able to go back and find out that the airplane that we flew on for this humanitarian mission was owned by Jeffrey Epstein. And to then learn, oh, he was actually on some of those flights. And this Maxwell woman was on some of those flights. I didn't know him. I've never spent any time with him. I was with the Clinton Foundation people. That's who I was with. Now, what I understand is that he didn't start to be investigated until 2005 by authorities in Florida. So here's what I can tell you. This Maxwell woman, she was one of many people who sat down next to me in that throne room. I have no relationship with her. I had no relationship with him. I mean, he's not my friend. I'm not a confidant. I've never spent time with him. And interestingly, I will say this. I was very fortunate that President Clinton introduced me a lot of business leaders in London because he knew I was coming to the Old Vic. And I developed relationships with Robert Earl, Pula Ladobovich, Robert Earl, a lot of wonderful people, Sir Richard Caring, people who supported the work that we did at the Old Vic and gave money to us. Do you know who I never asked for anything? Was Jeffrey Epstein. I didn't want to be around this guy because I felt he put the president at risk on that trip to South Africa because there were these young girls. And we were like, who is this guy? So I will say this.
There were young girls on those flights.
There were young girls on those flights, yeah.
Okay. I don't really believe him. I mean,
he's an actor. So
the young girls thing, he's not into girls. We know he's not into boys, but or men, whatever. But I don't believe that he wasn't friends with them. I don't believe that. What would make me believe him if he would come out and he would, because he's obviously like in a world hurt financially now, and this would help him. If he came out and he was like, all right, I'm not suicidal. I'm going to write a tell-all book, or I'm going to start doing a tour, and I want to get paid for my information. You guys start giving me money and I will just sing like a bird. And I'm going to start, because if he obviously was on flights and he saw things, I mean, he saw things.
But then what is his incentive to not do that? Like, why wouldn't he do that if he knew things?
Because he was involved with it too. If he in fact if he wasn't friends with him and wasn't involved in this stuff, that makes me think that he's protecting people like the Clintons. And so he's not saying anything, which is what all of these yahoos do, which is why I don't believe a word out of his mouth, because I mean, he's a freaking actor. He's a great one.
Well,
so
yeah,
he can act.
He's a good actor. So
he knows how to act, right? But because if that's the thing, he's protecting like Bill Clinton. I mean, so if he was,
why? What is the point?
Because he doesn't want to die. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, so many of these people are protecting each other for the same reasons, I guess. They all just don't want to be, suicided or whatever, or they just want to stay in the club. But
we should get him on our show.
If to make me believe him, I just wish he would sing like a bird. Like that's what somebody needs to do that. One person, because nobody has outed anybody. And you know these people are doing some shady crap, or they did some shady crap. Okay, you guys listen. Before you do anything for the rest of the day after our show, you need to sign up for Zach's special inflation webinar, which is June 27th. What did we say that was? Is that a Thursday? It's a Thursday, right?
Yes.
At knowyourriskradio.com. Zach is the money man. Plus he's conservative. Plus he's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. He's a good guy. We love him. And he will help you out through this tumultuous time of inflation. knowyourriskradio.com. Sign up.
But so now I don't know, because that contradicts, it contradicts something that you said earlier then. Because if he's not singing like a bird because he's afraid of being suicided, then why wouldn't he just come out and say, I am not suicidal, and so I'm going to sing like a bird? It doesn't make any sense to me.
But that's what I'm saying. I wish that he would just do that. It's like,
but,
I think
but my point is, maybe he's not, because he genuinely doesn't know anything. Because if he did, he has no incentive to not come out. He's in the world of hurt right now. There's every reason in the world for him to come and sell the story and talk. Why wouldn't he do that? It can't be fear of being suicided. Because like you said, he could just say, hey, everybody, I'm not suicidal.
You still can be so afraid of telling the truth. You still, even if you're poor and you're desperate, you still can be so desperately a part of that community. And that's all he knows. And he's probably just so entrenched in it. And he's afraid. Fear is crippling, right? Not everybody's strong. I mean, not everybody can break away from that and be strong. I mean,
he's having a moment. Because the other thing that they talked about, and Pierce, again, this is when he's at his best, right? When he probes and he digs, and it doesn't matter to him if someone is they're breaking down in front of you. He's going to keep that interview going, and he's going to get information. When he asked him, where do you live now? It just he became an emotional basket case. Check this out. Right here. Any second. All right now.
Where do you live now?
Well, it's funny you asked that question.
Not
because
ha-ha
this
funny.
week, where I have been living in Baltimore, is being foreclosed on. My house is being sold at auction.
Really?
So I have to go back to Baltimore and put all my things in storage.
Really?
So the answer to that question is, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to live now, but I've been in Baltimore for since we started shooting House of Cards there.
So how long is that?
I moved there in 2012.
So this has been your home for 12 years?
Well, not this particular place, but this place has been my home and Evan and Lucy's home since 2016.
Why is it being foreclosed?
Because I can't pay the bills that I owe.
Are you facing bankruptcy?
Been a couple of times when I thought I was going to file, but we've managed to sort of dodge it, at least as of today.
How much money do you have?
None.
Really?
Well, I mean, you have some sense of legal bills.
Yeah.
I still owe a lot of legal bills that
I have not been able to pay. You're actually in debt?
Yes.
Do you mind me asking how much you owe?
It's considerable.
Millions?
Many millions, yes. The house itself is many millions.
What are you going to do?
Get back on the horse. Get back on the horse.
And maybe that's it, Mock, because maybe he feels like he can still have a career if he doesn't ruin it. You know what I mean? Maybe he feels like, well, I can stay good with these people and I could still have a career and I can still make money. Because listen, I believe him on the legal bills. You knew
Oh,
he
yeah,
might have.
there's no
You had
reason
to
not
hire
to.
lawyers. I believe that. Lawyers are freaking expensive. They will gouge you. And
Mhm.
so if he had to go through all he went through, I don't doubt at all. I believe he's telling the truth with that. I believe that he probably does owe millions, and that will bankrupt a person. So, I mean, I believe that. So maybe he feels like, okay, I gotta work to pay the bills. Maybe I can act again. And if he told on his friends or on these people in the industry, he would be done. And then he would just have like a one and done thing where if he wrote a book or a tell-all or whatever, that's it. That's all he'd have. But if he has a career, that's more longevity, more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More of a
I don't
long
know,
game.
man. That's a story.
It's a
That
story.
is a
It's a
story.
story, all right?
I don't know if I ever wanna be interviewed by Piers Morgan, though, because I feel like he would just get stuff out of you they had no intention of talking about.
It'd be
Because
like
he
Barbara
probably didn't
Walters.
go into that thinking, "Oh, he's gonna ask
Mhm.
me about my financial situation." You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. He'd start asking
Wild.
about family and stuff. I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I know, right? I don't wanna talk about my family." Yeah, exactly. I know, but I'd love to meet him, though. I think it'd be fun to meet that guy.
I would just
Mhm.
want him to, like, be the character in Seven, just, like, to creep me out. You know
Oh,
what
no,
I
I'm not
mean?
I'm not talking about Spacey. I'm talking about Pierce Morgan. I'd love to
Oh,
meet
yeah,
Pierce
I would love to
Morgan.
meet Pierce. Yeah,
I have
for
no
sure.
desire to meet Kevin Spacey.
I kinda do. I
Really?
just think it would be interesting. Yeah. I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind having him on the show. I wanna see if he can act to us.
I think he probably would put on a really good show.
You
Mhm.
do? And you
Oh,
wouldn't be
yeah.
like, "Come on, Kevin. How
Like
do
you
we know
didn't
you're not acting right
like you
now?"
didn't see anything. Yeah, come on.